Tuesday, noon. You're in Rockstars, that can only mean one thing. You ready to have a cup of coffee with your Coach Borino? Here is my traditional cappuccino. That's good stuff. You ready to chat about real estate? Yeah? You ready to go? All right, one more adjustment. Hold on a second. I'm manning the shop myself today. There you go. All right. You guys are ready to talk the doom and gloom that Zillow has unleashed on our community? Are you ready to talk about making money, having a good time, helping people, enjoying this business, being a successful real estate agent? Then you're in the right place. Are you here to ask questions? Are you here to post comments? You're in the right place. Coach Borino with you. If this is your first time here with us, special welcome to you. Good to have you. It is not your traditional real estate broadcast or a video. Yes, I use colorful language. Yes, I use adult language. And yes, I speak from the heart. After years of experience as an agent, now I took on the mantle of coaching you, inspiring you, and helping you guys. That has been my mission. And with that, big good welcome to my good man, William. Nice to have you, William, from lovely Los Angeles, California. Mr. Brian English, the traditional, always present, always eager to learn, always wanting to be better and successful. Good to have you, my man. And Gail Zintek, always eager to learn and grow and get better and help others. You are a rock star at that, Gail. I really like that. All right, who else do we have? Therese with us. Mary checking in. Terrific Tuesday to you as well, my dear. Lovely to have you. Good afternoon to you all. Linda checking in. Absolutely fantastic to have you, all of you guys. We're going to have a good life today. And I have an agenda, pretty much a single thing I wanted to talk to you about first. And if we have time, of course, I'll get on your questions and answer them. But first, I wanted to talk about the doom and gloom, the demise of the real estate industry because of evil Zillow. You guys know what I'm talking about, right? You saw the article? Everybody's talking about it these days. Zillow launches instant offers pilot program for home sellers. Real estate agents leaving in drones, thousands leaving homeless, tens of thousands without income. This is the end of real estate as we know it. Or something along those lines, right? You guys see what's going on. There was a great discussion on our forum, on our friends in Lab Codes. Everybody's chiming in. And some of the comments on the article, and we'll go into detail what it means and what it means to you and your pocketbook. Some of them are intelligent, very articulate. Some are, oh, this is good. Some of them are, oh, this is the end. Some were very emotional. You know, like that picture I showed you. Some analyzed what was really going on. Some were just like, what the fuck? What's going on? So let's attack it, shall we? Let's have a little conversation, and hopefully intelligent conversation, with some humor and some good times. What it really means in a larger scheme of things, what it means to you, to your business, your income. Where do we go from here? My little 2 cents from your Coach Borino. When I started in real estate in 1743, when we were selling the huts back then, when I started, this was when the multiple listing service was just coming online as a computer system. And we were switching from those big books. Anybody remember that? Anybody in the business long enough to remember the big like phone books that were this thick, big books? And every 10 days they would get reprinted. They would drop off the old, drop off the new ones, pick up the old ones, and they would switch 3 times a month. And there were little tiny postage stamp picture of the property, a little bit of a description. You were lucky if there was one photo, one black and white photo. And you would flip through it. There was an active section, there were pendings, there was a list of solds, and an expireds at the end. And that was the resource. We were the gatekeepers of the information. Anybody remember that? Anybody old enough? Let's see. Even if you were, you probably don't admit it, right? Right? Yeah, Brian likes that 1743. That's about when I started, seriously. Yeah, so anyway, that's what we had. And for years, that's how it worked. And you would get this information, you would thumb through it, oh, new listings, and so on. What I hated about it, more than the fact that you had these tiny little postage stamp pictures of the houses and a very little description if agent worked hard enough to put something about the property there. But what I hated the most is the fingers. As you thumb through the page, just like a newspaper, you know, your fingers would get dirty all the time. I hated that. So when they started to introduce and roll out MLS as a computer system, I was relieved, not because I saw the potential of the technology. You know, this is so way back, we didn't really know what that's going to really impact, how it's going to impact the industry and change it. What I liked is the fact that my hands wouldn't get dirty anymore. That's what I like. That's what I was excited about. And we would have dot matrix printers that would go zzz, 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 you know, and print. And we had these classes, we were learning how they worked, how to log in and all that. And there were 3 camps. In the office where I worked, there was a small size office, there were about 20-some agents there. But there were 3 groups of people, 3 camps of agents. First camp, they were like, okay. I got to get shit done. I got a buyer, I need to show some property, or I got to prepare an MLS. How do I do that? Let's get it done. Let's get out of here. There was a second group of people who said, holy shit, this is awesome. Like me. I saw the potential of being able to access MLS anywhere, not just in the office where we started with these giant computers. And there was a third group of agents, third group of people who were like, I hate this. I don't know how to use it, and this is frustrating, and I don't know what to do about it. We had an agent named Don. Don was an old guy. He was a retired teacher, tall, slender, gray hair, very conservative type, you know what I mean? He liked things a certain way. And a big disruption like this meant it ruined his livelihood, and he wasn't doing that great to begin with. Given his attitude, I'm not surprised. But Don was frustrated, and every time I had my cubicle not far from the room where the computers were, we had 2 computers and 2 printers, and I could just hear him grumble. And I knew Don was on a computer using MLS. And then he would like, anybody can help me here? How do I do that? You know? And then some good soul would come in and rescue Don. Not surprisingly, a few months later, Don quit real estate. And I was not surprised, because the grumble, clearly he was not having fun. There are times and milestones and events in our life, in our business, where something new comes along that changes dramatically our lives, our industry. Think about Uber. What made Uber so cool? I love using Uber. I'm a huge fan of Uber. I use it a lot. I love it. What makes it cool? A choice that I, as a consumer, have. A choice between a dirty, clunky, uncomfortable, expensive cab where I have to pay with some swipe shit. Now they put this giant screen in my face with some obnoxious, annoying advertising, listening to some third world country music most of the time in a smelly cab that's clunking, bouncing around, and it's expensive, and it's going to be late, and it's going to be hard to get at times. And I don't know in advance what the fare is going to be. None of that. Versus, I can pick the kind of car I want, the size of the car I want. I can tell right away what my fare is going to be. I can tell exactly how long exactly, very close to how long it's going to take to get there. I don't have to do anything. The fare is paid. It's convenient. The cars are nicer. The cars are clean. There are some now they're introducing. I can have my own playlist. It's usually driven by somebody very pleasant and chatty. My experience with Uber drivers has been always cool people. Very nice, very friendly. If you want to have a conversation, they will have a cool conversation with you. If not, they'll leave you alone. Love it. It's less expensive. It's convenient. It's fantastic. Now, let's connect it to our Zillow. Let me pull up the article so that you're up to speed so you understand what's going on. Check this out. So according to Aldignal, Zillow launches Instant Offers pilot program for home sellers. Zillow's, for the 7 of you who don't know what that is a database. It's an online database to advertise. They generate their money through advertising revenue. Majority of their income is from advertising. Now they launched this program where with or without agent, homeowners can entertain instant offers and sell quickly. The basic premise of the program is that they will team up with Wall Street investors, with certain sellers who want to sell fast, who don't want to deal with an agent or deal with what's called a premier agent, and sell quickly for a set amount of money. That's the premise of the program. Freak out, explosion, like this, right? Yesterday, when they announced it. Now, let's dive a little deeper into what really is going on. Listen to this. Zillow says, and here's really your answer, and this is a long answer to your profitability for years to come. Zillow says that the program is a direct response to its research about home sellers' concerns. The company found that the sellers are frustrated with the unknown that come with listing a house and the inconvenience and stress, open houses, staging, moving, and unpredictable timing. Sellers are looking for more solution when selling their home. That's the answer. That's the hallelujah right there. And that's the reason why you should not be freaking out at all. There is nothing to freak about. Because the reality is this. There was always going to be a small group of home sellers who don't give a shit about agents, who don't want to deal with agents, who will figure out any other way to avoid the industry. There's nothing you can do about it. Those are your for sale by owners. Those are your pain in the ass sellers. Those are the difficult ones. Those are the ones that think we are scum and we're making way too much money. You cannot change them. You cannot educate them. See, the Zillow came with this plan not to protect your best interest. Zillow doesn't give a shit about you. Yes, they want your money. They created a partnership that's profitable for many agents and for Zillow. But at the end, why should they protect your best interest? How arrogant and how ignorant of so many agents thinking, well, Zillow should be protecting my interest. They're using my listing. Fuck you. That is not true at all. That's not how it's set up. That's not how it works. It is not driven by the real estate industry. It is not driven by Zillow. Who is driving? The consumers, the sellers. The reason Uber is successful is not because Uber wanted to succeed. Yes, they did. But at the end, the ultimate success was because we liked it, because it was better, because it was cheaper. It's as simple as that. Will Zillow be the next Uber? I don't think so. And I tell you why. Zillow has a big national presence. A lot of people know about it. A lot of people use it, whether agents, consumers, etc. But this industry and this business is not like car industry or not like travel industry. Like I want to get, Uber is simple. I'm in point A, give me quickly, inexpensively, safely, and pleasantly to point B. That's the whole thing. I don't care whether the car is black or white. I don't care about any other details. I want to get there quickly, I want to get there safely, and I want to have a pleasant drive there. From point A to point B. It's that simple. The real estate transaction is not that simple. And I tell you why I don't think this is a big threat to your business. Several reasons. Number one, the real estate transactions are way too more complex. That's why I'm so surprised the attorneys and the legal industry hasn't gotten their hands deeper in the pockets going, fuck that, they're making 10 grand a transactions? How do we get on that racket? You know what I mean? I mean, they tried, but so far it hasn't worked very well. For them, thank you, thank God for us, right? Now, real estate deals, the entire process, is a combination of very strong, big emotions, and it's usually fear. I mean, look back on all the sellers you deal with, all the buyers you deal with. There's at least one massive freak out, at least once a week, right? A lot of emotions and a lot of complex information, data, transaction disclosures, paperwork, information, market update, price. There's a boatload of data that needs to be processed. Now, sites like Zillow offer data, the estimates and all that. There are plenty of resources where the consumer can get the data. The data is not the issue here. What that data means, how it impacts the consumer and what to do about it is the critical element that not Zillow, not attorney, nobody can fill but you. That's it. That's it. Because the seller, in the complexity of it all, needs the hand-holding, needs the advice, needs somebody they can trust. They have no reason to trust some nameless, faceless entity called Zillow. They have a reason to trust you, Brian, you, James, you, Mary, you, Gail. Because there's a bond, there's a trust, and there's a relationship. The money matters, yes. But let's talk about the money. The Zillow premise is they will team up, they will hook you up as a seller with Wall Street investors. Think about that, Wall Street. Very honest, upfront people. Willing to protect the seller's best interest and their pocket? I don't think so. What is their interest? Why are they in it? To make profit. Now, if the buyer, the Wall Street investors, also honest, cool guys, are there to make a profit, what chances does the seller stand to get a fair deal? Think about that. Will this be a good deal for most sellers? I don't think so. I don't have a crystal ball, obviously, but if I look at it from a 10,000-foot perspective, I'm like, hold on, Wall Street investors, when it's a single seller, I think the single seller is fucked in most cases because they're buying it to make profit, to make money. That's the sole reason. They don't give a shit about their situation. They don't really care why they're selling, what is their circumstances, none of that. Bottom line is all that matters to them. They're dollar-driven, and that's their business. I'm not knocking it. Fine, that's how you make a living, cool. But if you put these together, it doesn't look very fair to me, to the seller. Who protects the seller? Who is on the seller's side? Who will handhold the seller? Yes. Zillow says seller has the option to get the premier agent, which is really where they're going to probably make the money, is try to sell you more shit. And some of the agents who have the budget and the desire and fits their business model, more power to you, use it. It will be a good opportunity to get in front of a lot of those sellers. Does it all make sense? So, here's the bottom line. You don't have much to worry about yet. This is not a disruption by any means. It's a pilot program that, in my case, my opinion, is not going to take off in a big way. It will resonate with certain small group of sellers, but they will always be there. Those are your FSBOs. Now, statistically, you already know, 8 transactions out of 100 are FSBOs. They're not selling. These are the lowest numbers since 1981. They're not selling. On average, property listed with an agent sells for, last year's stats were what, 60,000 more? Median price, right, according to the NAR. Huge discrepancy. Why do you think that is? Good agent on their side, good negotiator, good resources, marketing, and some patience. It's going to take some time, even in a hot market, to find the perfect buyer, make sure the property inspects, appraises, all that stuff. I don't see this happening with investors on Wall Street. Wall Street doesn't have the best reputation to protect the consumer's best interest, if you ask me. You understand what I'm saying? Nick Baldwin summarized it really well. My good man Nick posted this. I read this quote in Business Journal yesterday and brings up a valid point. Zillow presently receives less than 1% of the $100 billion brokerage ecosystem support, and the company has realized that until they accept blah, 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 blah. Now, Zillow is forgetting that one and the most important thing that it would be, hold on, let me move it so you can see it. Here we go. I'm going to zoom it out because the last paragraph is the critical one. Hold on. Here we go. That one most important thing that it would be need for a competing human being of its quality of service. As agents, we still crush Zillow in that department. Quality of service. No website, no entity, no Uber of real estate can compete with that. On the contrary, Uber won because of the quality of the service. Because it was more personal, but it was more pleasant. That's why Uber won. Zillow is not Uber. You're Uber. You're the disruptor. Does Zillow have really that big of a presence in your neighborhood? I don't think so. Do you have to deal with it? Yes, there will be some ramifications. You have to take it into consideration, and you have to stay flexible. But what will it take to deliver what the consumer really wants? The answer was right there in the article. The reason Zillow did a research and found so many sellers are unhappy and are looking for an alternative because they don't have the right answers. They don't have the accurate, honest, truthful answers. It's as simple as that. That's your answer right in there. It's in the article. The uncertainty. So now, you as a professional, high-status agent, come in. What does it take to compete, not just with Zillow, but in general, to really deliver your A game? I made a list. You want to go through it real quick? Let me show you. Okay? So step 1, or part 1, is your communication. So let's call it the A game list. Step 1 is your communication, how you communicate. The like me, ain't gonna cut it. Neither would the high pressure, aggressive script anymore. The consumers are changing, the industry is changing, the world is changing. It has to be a genuine, confident, connected, two-way conversation. That's the answer. Instead of automating, make it personable, connected. So that's the first one. Second thing on my list is you have to have systems to generate leads, lead generation. No more shooting from the hip. There'll be other systems, there'll be other disruptors. I mean, they're already coming, they're trying. And the way you compete with that is you have enough good qualified leads coming through the pipeline that these kind of auxiliary disruptions are not going to sway you too much. And they're not going to make a big dent. Because if you have 5 listing appointments lined up and one of these sellers says, you know what, we're going to go with the Zillow deal. I think that's better for us. You say, more power to you. Good luck. Hopefully that works out for you. Except most of you don't have 4 or 5 listing appointments lined up. You know why? You don't have a systems to generate good quality leads. Can Zillow be one of the systems? It can be. Yesterday with that interview, some of you were on it, that webinar. Was it good, right? It was good. Shayna did a fantastic job breaking it down. She is a new type of real estate agent where most of her business comes from technology, systems. And Zillow is one of them. She uses it. The downside is you got to learn it. This is not something you're going to master overnight, and it ain't cheap. She mentioned her budget, and it's a few $1,000s a month to run something like that. But it works for her, and that's cool. It's just another model. My point is, whatever you choose, make sure it's a system. Make sure you know what the steps are. Make sure you know what the components are. So you don't just improvise. It's planned. So you can measure it, you can troubleshoot it, and you can scale it. Make sense? Next, what's next on my list? Follow-up. Your follow-up needs to be spot on. And there are two components to it. Your frequency, how often you follow up. So many don't follow up often enough. They just don't know who you are. They forget who you are. You may have a good lead who would list with you, but because you screw up your follow-up, you don't keep in touch often enough, they get lost. You drop them. You drop the ball. And then you drive by and you see the sign, you go, son of a bitch, that should be my listing. What? Bad follow-up. Not enough. And the second is quality. And knowing them with phone calls, are you ready to list? Can't be that. Can't be that. Provide information. Be cool. Be helpful. Be personable. It's more about one-on-one to have the massive automated system that just keeps blasting texts and emails and mass marketing bullshit. People don't respond to it very well. Yeah? So fix that. Next. You must be absolutely crystal clear. When you get one of my systems, one of the things we do is we have an implementation session. For 30 minutes, we work together on implementing, whether you have the FISBO Reno, the Expired Plus, whatever you have. And during that call that I do with you personally, one of the questions asked is, what do you bring to the table? What do you bring to the table? What is unique about you that would cause me to say, yes, I like Brian. I think I'm going to list my house with Brian. What do you bring to the table? And you got to be very clear and very specific. And you got to watch for landmines like, oh, my marketing. People don't really give a shit too much about marketing. They use it as a gauge to compare two agents. Well, this one has these fancy, flashy things. It is not about that. That's just a vehicle. That's just like the Uber car that gets me from point A to point B. But it's not about the car. It's me being somewhere else, having fun, or meeting my friends, or going to the airport, doing something else. Get very clear, what do you specifically, you personally, bring to the table that makes you unique, that validates and justifies the commission you earn. And spend some time brainstorming it. Because I guarantee you, you got to have something. If you already have listings, if you already have clients you're working with, if you already sold properties, there was something about you that made those people that do business with you go, I like him, trust him, and respect him more than everybody else. That's why they do business with you every single time. You need to decipher what is it. You need to know the answers. You need to use those answers. Okay? Expertise. You got to be an expert. You got to be an expert. That's a given. You got to know your shit inside out. You got to know your market, pricing, the business, the paperwork, everything comes with it. It's part of your job. That's your job description. You got to know that. And it's mind-boggling to me to still see agents who've been at it for 2, 3, 4 years still don't know the basics. Still couldn't tell me, oh, that house that's a 4-bedroom, 3-bath, it's a split level, about 2,000 square feet. They usually sell between 420, 425, 430 if they're really nice and clean. It takes about 13 days right now to get an offer on a nice clean property like that. It's to be expected. Remember their article, what it said? The uncertainty is what's driving our consumer to find an alternative. You and your expertise must be rock solid, where you sit down with the seller, which brings me to the next point, and that's accurate answers. The sellers expect, we're knocking Zillow, right? You see these posts, oh, Zillow is off. How many agents are off? Can you really sit down with the seller today, present a good listing presentation, whether you have the presentation plus or not, doesn't matter, but do a good job presenting and be rock solid when it comes to, it should be listed at 425. It's going to sell for about 420, maybe a little bit more. It's going to take us about 2 weeks to receive an offer once we complete these things on the list. We're going to stage the property. The cost of the staging, the consultation is $200. Then my stager will give you an estimate of what it's going to cost to stage it. We're going to pay it at the closing. So don't worry about it. It's going to be just another expense. We're going to do possibly one open house and one broker open house. They last about 4 hours. I will provide refreshments. We'll set up the house. We'll prepare everything. That's what they expect you to do. And you need to know this shit. Now, if it takes 3 months to sell, great. If it takes 6 months to sell, awesome. But you got to know the answers, and you cannot be off. You cannot afford to be off. So it's very easy and fun to knock Zillow and make fun of them. I'm one of them who posts those funny, the dilapidated thing, and Zillow says, oh, this is worth $300,000. But can you be dead on? Are you accurate? It's expected. The consumers expect it. If the appraisal, who makes what, $200, $300 in appraisal, can be dead on, not that they always are, but you know what I'm saying. You earning all these thousands of dollars, damn right you got to be on. Study the market, preview property, really know what's going on in the neighborhood, the school districts and everything else that impacts the value of the property. That's your homework. You got to do that. That's part of your job. It's the job description. And it's expected to deliver accurate answers. And the last one, trust. Trust. You have to master through communication and marketing an ability to develop connection and trust. I'll give you an example. Yesterday, I had a call from an agent who is considering coming and doing the next boot camp in August with me. So for everybody who's interested in the boot camp, you and I get on the phone for about 10-15 minutes and have a chat. And we were chatting for about 10 minutes, and within 10 minutes, we were discussing some very personal, very deep issues concerning her marriage, her relationship, and how it impacts her business. I had never spoken with her before. We never met before. She knew my videos, and she is in Rockstars, but beyond that, she had no clue. We never spoke before. Within 10 minutes, we had such an authentic conversation. She was willing to, and it was necessary for us to discuss these things, that she wouldn't tell even to her good friends. Is it because I have magic powers or hypnotic language? No, I don't influence or manipulate people like that. But it is a skill. I have, one of the things that I have, and I teach you how to do it, is how to build that kind of authentic, real trust. Imagine you have that trust with the seller, where within 10 minutes, they feel very honest and open to tell you what's really going on, to ask you questions, honest questions. Rather than seeing an enemy, a salesperson with whom they have to be defensive, they can be honest and open. It's a matter of skill. It can be learned, it can be developed, it can be improved, and it's going to become essential. Because you're now competing with an entity that has a huge marketing budget. They can crush you when it comes to online presence, for example. But it can never crush you in your ability to develop these kind of connections with people, this kind of trust. And if you combine it with a level of expertise, if you deliver something unique that's about you, if you have a good follow-up in place combined with the good systems that generate good leads, if you're a good communicator, that's your A game. You have nothing to worry about. This industry will not be disruptive. It just evolves. And people who have all these, and many of you do, or are working, progressing that way. Some with my help. Thank you. Thanks for being students and clients. This is our agenda. This is what I do for a living. If you ask me, what do? I do this. I teach you how to communicate. I'll give you some systems. I build your follow-up. We'll find together something unique that you bring to the table and how to communicate it to the consumer. I will show you how you can become an expert fairly quickly, how to deliver accurate answers, and how to build trust with people. Because if you have all this in place, then you can scale the shit out of it. And that's really the secret, how so many people, regardless of Zillows and regardless of God knows what, make a lot of money. That's the whole shindig right there. You take every top producer making $300,000, $400,000 or more, I guarantee you, if I start rating 1 to 5, this would score 4 or 5 on almost all of them. Guaranteed. And if you score 3 or less, then you exactly know what to focus on, where the problem is. Does that all make sense to you? Can you take some action points from it right now? Will this be helpful to you to rebuild, rethink how you think about it? Yes? What do you think? Jeffrey has a really good, that is a brilliant suggestion, Jeffrey. I really like it. He says, take an appraisal seminar and learn the 10004 MC, Game Changer. I totally agree. I think taking an appraisal course is a good idea, online or offline. Yes, I like that. Good. What is the very first item on the board? Can't see it. The very first item is an A-game list, and the first one is communication, and I apologize if you can't see it. So this is your A-game. It's communications, systems to generate leads, follow-up, you, expertise, accurate answers, and trust. Did I miss anything? Would you add anything to it? Yeah, Gail, right on. She says genuine, confident, connected conversation. That's exactly what I'm talking about. And you can't wing it, you know, and you can't fake it. There's no script you can memorize to do that well. That's impossible. I have never met anyone who can do that. Victoria, I really like that. She quotes an ancient wisdom. It's not who or what you meet in life that matters, but how you meet it. How you meet it. That's exactly right. Yeah, I like that. William has a question. What is your take on the low inventory? Do you see the shift on the horizon? As a cold call agent prospector, one thing I've learned, the best area to call is areas that had higher turnover. Here is my suggestion to you, William, and everybody else. If you are doing a lead generation like cold calling right now, and after about 60 days, you're not getting some really solid hot leads, stop. Stop. Because whether the market's going to shift or not doesn't really matter. Something is broken. If you put 60 days of effort in a lead generation, whether it's expired listings for sale by owners, cold calling, door knocking, online lead generation, whatever, if within 60 days you're not getting solid leads and or appointments and listings, stop. Something is broken. And you need to figure out what is broken. You want to troubleshoot that real quick? All of you guys? You want to do that? Give me some likes if yes. Let's see. Would that be helpful to answer that? How you can troubleshoot that? Yeah? Okay. So let me wipe this. Yes, okay, good. So you guys want to go through it real quick. So let's say you do a lead generation. You have a system set up, and this could be Facebook advertising. This could be direct mail. This could be YLOPO. This could be ZBuyer, whatever, online, offline, doesn't matter. Any system you use, and you've been using it for 60 days. Cool, okay, you want to see what's going on. So here's how we troubleshoot. So you need to figure out how much money is it bringing? And then you can break it down. Am I getting good leads, solid leads? Now here's my definition of leads. Somebody who most likely will move in 6 months or less. That's my definition of lead. Somebody who is most likely going to move within the next 6 months. If it's more than 6 months, sometimes I would take them as a lead, occasionally based on the circumstances, especially if you have a good relationship and it's clear that they will definitely move, but it might take a little longer, that's an exception. But usually I'm going for somebody 6 months or less. That's my definition of leads, and preferably sellers. Okay? Am I getting appointments, listing appointments, and am I getting listings? Okay? If none of this is happening or not sufficient enough to sustain a good profit for you, stop immediately. It's time to troubleshoot. It's time to evaluate. So the first thing you're going to evaluate is numbers. And that simply means, am I reaching enough numbers? So let's say you're working for sale by owners, just for the sake of illustration. And let's say you contact one for sale by owner a week. Of course, that's not going to produce high volume of leads, appointments, and listings. Now, in some areas right now, something like new expired listings are pretty dry because of the market, right? You don't have a whole lot of expired. So that doesn't mean you're going to kill the system, doesn't mean you're going to pull the plug on it. It just means this is the numbers I have. I'm going to work with what I got. As I always tell you, do the best you can with what you have, right? But the first thing I would do is, can I increase the numbers? Can I increase the numbers? Is there a way to do more FSBOs? Can I look for alternative resources where I just need more numbers? Because you know that the more contacts you make, there's a more chance you're going to get more leads, more appointments, and more listings. So the first way you troubleshoot is, I'm just not doing enough. The second thing I would do, quality of the first impression. What is my first impression? I watched this guy who posted a video of him cold calling. And he's a good agent. He's sitting down. He has a headset on, doing something, and I couldn't tell what it was, but it felt like, or it looked like he was playing a video game, just to be distracted, you know, because it's boring to sit there. And then somebody would pick up the phone. Hi, this is Robert with ABC Real Estate. Are you planning to sell your house in the near future? Thank you. And then he would sit there for 5 minutes, and somebody would answer, and, you know, he was on a dialer doing that. That's a horrible first impression. I was on a call yesterday. YouTube contacted me. YouTube/Google representative contacted me, says, we want to help you. We have these things to help you grow your channel. I'm like, cool. So I spent about 10 minutes on the phone with the dude who was pretty much reading the script to me. And I even told him, I said, dude, you know, I teach communication. This was not that good. I would really work on the communication abilities. I mean, the script is good. You suck. I'm just honest. And he got kind of taken back by it. But I was just being honest with him. Horrible first impression. To the point where I'm like, well, fuck you, YouTube. If you just send me a dude reading a script somewhere, come on. I want somebody engaged. I want somebody who asks me questions, or I can have a conversation. And I wanted to have a conversation. I wanted to talk to him about that. But it didn't go very well. My first impression was like, really? The amount of money they make? This is what I get? Not a great impression. So the way you can figure this out, what is the quality of your first impression, is reaction, of course, what kind of response you get. Number one. Number two, record yourself. Put yourself on an iPhone, get a little recorder, just pay attention to how you communicate. If you knock on the door, what is the first impression? The way you look, the way you carry yourself. Okay? Work on that. Very important, because that first impression will determine whether somebody will like you or not. And it happens super fast. The next thing you're going to do is the system. Am I using the right system? Is there a better way to do that? And this will require a little bit of a homework. Are there other agents doing something similar, like for sell by owners, using a different system? Could I incorporate, for example, something like a data generator, like an espresso agent? Would that help? Am I looking in enough places? Because that's connected with the numbers. Do I connect enough numbers? Can I learn from somebody who knows how to do this? Can they teach me? Can I improve the system? And the last thing would be, is there a better way? Is there a better way? Do I stick with it, like in William's case, do I stick with the cold calling? Unless I can improve these three, the answer is no. The answer is no. Don't do that. If in 60 days you feel like, well, this is about as high number as I can have, I think my first impression is pretty good, there's not much I can do there, I think I'm using the best system available, and there's got to be a better way to get leads. Other agents in your area are getting leads, so I would kill that funnel. If you can make it work in 60 days, and you're positive that these things are in place, there's one more to it, mindset. What do you really believe? Really? What do you really, deep inside, be honest? No lip service, no bullshit. What do you really believe? About you, about real estate, about money, about calling people. You know why I struggled with expireds for so long? I carried this thing in my head. I don't want to bother people. I don't like when people bother me and they knock on my door and they call me, so I'm not going to bother people. Now, on the outside, I was doing the right thing. I was soldiering through, but not getting very good results because deep inside, I didn't believe in any of that. So I had to shift the mindset. What is the mindset? Is that helpful? So evaluate every lead system you have. What am I getting? What can I fix? Or should I drop it? That's it. Because there are only two ways you're going to make money. There are only two ways. You're going to spend dollars, meaning something on YLOBO or Facebook advertising or Z-buyers or a billion other ways you can generate leads these days, and evaluate, is it really producing results? Is the money I'm spending bringing money back, or can I invest it better? Or work? You either grind your ass off, you invest, or a little bit of both. Combine the two. That's the only way. That's it. Yeah? All right. Cool. Oh, some of you remember. Ray remembers. Yolanda remembers. Yeah, the MLS, remember? All right. Excellent. So that would be my advice to you guys when it comes to lead generation. Dean says, look at Apple quality too. Yes. Yeah. It's a combination. Yes, absolutely true. Okay. All right, you guys. Looks like you're getting it. Excellent. Victoria says, I think the mindset is the most important part. I totally agree, Victoria. I 100% agree. I absolutely agree. Because the mindset will determine the rest. I totally agree. Start there. Start there. And it's not always easy. I give you that. Especially if you get beat up a lot or the results are not there. And you're just questioning pretty much everything. Am I cut out for this business? Am I doing the right thing? Is Borino really the right dude to follow? You know. You question it. But look at the results. And you can quickly troubleshoot. Yeah? Okay, one thing I promised you today. There was a post recently, should I invest? And there was a big sum, and maybe I remember it right, it was $1,000. to get fancy business cards. And my response was to a very general, what? No, stop using business cards. You should absolutely stop using business cards. Now, some of you right now are going, what the fuck is he talking about? Does he have a little Jack in his coffee? No, I do not. Although now that I mention it, that might taste pretty good. Let me give you a better strategy. Stop using business cards. This is 2017. You should not use business cards at all, ever. Period. Okay? Here's a better strategy. You meet a prospect at an open house, whichever circumstance. And they ask you, well, do you have a card? You say, no, this is 2017. Let me text you my contact information. What's your cell number? And notice what I'm doing. I'm already getting my phone ready. I expect the phone number. I have my phone ready. I'm expecting them to give it to me. As they give it to me, I will log it in and I will shoot them my contact information. That's it. That's the whole technique. Don't use business cards. Use this. This way, they have your contact information. They have all the details about you, your email, your cell number, everything. And you have theirs. And now you're communicating. Because the business card, it simply means, oh, okay, just another agent. We've done it, right? When you get an insurance agent's card or mortgage rep card who comes by your office and stuffs it in the inboxes and you go, junk, 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 junk. Come on, we all do it. You get junk in home, you all just toss it. Much better way. You open a communication. Hey, great meeting you today. Enjoyed our conversation. Looking forward to helping you. That's the answer. Start using that. No more business cards nonsense. Stop it. Be a modern agent. Engage people. Like we talked about the Zillow earlier, the trick is to have such meaningful, helpful conversations with these people where you have readily available, helpful answers, not just data. This is not telling them about market value in their neighborhood. There is a whole bunch of automated systems, some accurate than others, some more accurate than others, that can do that. What you provide is insight. Meaning, this is what it means. Here's how it impacts you. This is the data, this is the information, and here is, under your circumstances, what it means to you. We have a great attorney. I have a fantastic attorney. She's awesome. Her name is Deborah. Deborah knows the law. She knows it inside out. But when we meet with her, I don't want to hear 5-minute reading from a law book about a certain particular law. You know what I mean? I want to know, this is what it is, here's what it means, and this is what we should do. I don't have time or the desire to study law or understand it. I need an expert who I pay a lot of money to tell me, this is what it is, here's what it means, and here's what you should do, and here's why. But she does it from a human, kind, heart, empathy perspective, understanding my situation first. Can you do the same? Yes, you ask the right questions, number one. You understand their situation, number two. And then together you come to a conclusion. This is what's best for you guys. This is what we should do, and here's why. And not being attached, they say, no, we don't want to do that. Then you have the right to explore. Well, tell me about it. What's stopping you? What do you feel like is the roadblock? Maybe they have a valid reason, maybe they don't. Maybe they just don't like you. Maybe the issue is trust. That's usually the case. They question your expertise. They question you're their best choice. Bottom line. But you can fix that. Because you're either perceived as low status or perceived as a salesman or a saleswoman or a high status agent, cool, competent. That's how they perceive you. Whether you are or not is a completely different issue. It's a matter of perception because in their mind, your perception of you is their reality. End of story. Yeah? All right. V-cards to prospective. Oops. Jeffrey has a good suggestion. Use V-cards to prospective prospects. Send contact. Yes, absolutely. Nicole says, good to know. No more cards. No more cards. Don't be like every other agent. Don't do that. Cards are good for open house for your sellers. That's not what we're talking about, Jeffrey. I'm saying don't use business cards with your prospects. I'm not saying don't use business cards. Yes, you're going to use business cards when you preview your property, when you meet another agent, when you're negotiating contracts. They need your contact information. With them, of course, you exchange it on a cell phone as well. But I'm saying don't use it hoping and thinking, foolish, oh, they get my card. Of course they're going to call me when they're ready. Come on. There are some apps to create your own business card with all your information that you texted to anybody. No, just forward them your information. You want to handle the entire conversation and communication as if you are their friend. How would you do it with your friends? Do you send them business cards? Do you give them e-cards and i-cards and God knows what? No, you send them your contact information. That's the kind of authentic relationship you need to start learning to build. It's a shift in the mindset. You're not a salesperson anymore. You're their consultant. You're their guide. Where they're dying to have your personal information, where they're dying to have a connection and a personal relationship, especially in this world with so much noise and data overload we live in. Where there's the one guy or one gal that they can trust, they can respect, they can connect with. So don't look for apps. Fuck apps. Don't worry about apps. It's about the connection with them. Where they drive by a property, they go, holy shit, that's a nice house. Let me text Kristen. Let me text John. Let me text Gail. Are you getting it? It's a different mind, it's a different perception, it's a different relationship, different dynamic. It's not about apps. Very different. Yeah? So do you include business cards in your expired package? Yes, you can. You can. Bottom line is you're going to reach out and initiate the conversation with them anyway. Them calling you because you left a business card there, sometimes, but not very likely. But a good question. Celia says, I think a lot of agents forget that they're offering a service more than a product. Yes, you're finding or helping sell a home, but more you're selling a service, your expertise, your work, your initiative, and attention to detail. The human component, compassion and care are what they look for and need. Brilliant insight, Celia. Absolutely, yes. I agree with that 100%. Yes. Yes, yes, yes. All right, guys. Let's see. I want to make sure I don't miss any of the questions. Mary says, so you don't recommend putting business cards in the expired package either? I still probably would. That's a good question. Your contact information is on the cover letter, which I think is the action point of the package. Your contact information is on the trifold brochure, which I think is more action point of the package. And I think that will get their attention way before your business card will. Is it essential? I don't think so. Would it make a huge difference? I don't think so. All right. Jeffrey says, technology wanes as time goes on. Facebook was even more powerful 7 years ago. It was free. 100% of what was posted on pages showed in your feed, just less users. Zillow was trending tech 3-4 years ago. Now waning tech. It's always the challenge of being, there will always be something new, obviously. Facebook right now is a hot shit. You can make a lot of money on Facebook if you have the budget for it and the skills, or you hire somebody who can do it for you. It's not a bad place. If you incorporate it as one of the systems we talked about, you can make it work. Many agents do. Just like Zillow, you can make it work if you have the budget and the expertise to make it work. Contacting Fizbo, Zillow's fantastic way of getting leads. I would definitely go for it. Talk to some people, make me move, although most of them, la la land. They're smoking some really good shit to think that they're going to get what they think they're going to get for it. But it's worth to talk to, because occasionally you may find a diamond in the rough. So all these things are tools. They're available. Yes, the economy is changing. The world is changing. Everything is changing. That's just part of growth. That's just part of life. My point is there will always be a small group of agents who will crush it, who will kill it, because there will always be a demand for an expert. There will always be a demand for somebody that I can trust, somebody I can confide in, somebody who can explain this is what it really means and here's what we should do. There will always be room for that. And there will always be plenty of people willing to pay a lot of money for that service. That's the bottom line. That's really where we're going. And it's going to be even more essential for you to stand out in that noisy technology crowd to have that authentic connection and communication with people. You know what makes me stand out? I communicate authentically. I get these comments constantly. Yesterday, somebody sent me an email saying I should clean up my language. You know why I don't? It's not a pose. This is not like I try to be cool or sound different. I want to be authentic with you. If you can extend the same authenticity minus the F words to your clients, you'll be unstoppable. If you combine it with some systems that generate plenty leads that you can select from, you're a rock star. That's how everybody does it. Everybody who makes the money you want to make, that has the lifestyle you want to have. We still look for that magic answer. You know, there's this one website. If you just give money to this website, they give you the best sellers and you're going to crush it, you're going to kill it. Bullshit. There's no one single magic answer. The magic answer is you grind your ass off, you work your ass off, you combine it with some systems and some skills, you're going to do well, whether in real estate, in medicine, in law, in any profession. The only difference is to become a good doctor, like I told you the story about a friend of mine whose husband became a neurosurgeon, brain surgeon, in San Diego. It took him 13 years to get there. 13 years. He owes over $300,000 in student loans that he's going to pay back. His salary will be $320,000 a year. A lot of money. But think about it, 13 years to get there. You can reach that in 3 years. I have students who did it, who've done it. Within 3 years, they reached that same level of income. Not everybody, and I can't guarantee it, obviously. But it's possible, it's doable. 0 student loans. 3 years versus 13. And if you fuck up, nobody dies. If my friend's husband fucks up, somebody's going cold 6 feet under. You understand the difference? That's the difference. That's the opportunity you have. So don't squander it. Yes, it's going to be hard, but it's going to be hard either way. To me, making $50,000 is much harder than making $500,000 a year. It's going to be hard either way. Don't get stuck on this, well, this is easier. Fuck that. What is profitable? What is profitable? What is bringing leads? What is bringing dollars? What is bringing appointments? What is bringing listings? Not how you feel about it. What's wrong with you? This is not about feelings. Feel good. I feel good. If I make $500,000 a year, $1 million a year, I feel pretty damn good. You know what I'm saying? So get over this whole I don't feel and feeling this, feeling that, rejection and people, and grow up. You have a phenomenal opportunity to be at the same income level as neuro-fucking-surgeon. And you're going to throw it away because of feelings? Fix your feelings. Change how you feel if you can. If not, just grind through it. You make $500,000 a year, you're going to have a comfortable lifestyle. It's going to feel pretty damn good. Do you agree with that? Good. Looks like a lot of you agree. Excellent. All right. Joe says, thank you for a valuable opinion. It makes sense what you said about the apps and business cards. Now, don't overthink any of that. I'm just saying, if you have the opportunity to initiate a two-way conversation, rely on that, not some piece of paper where you hope they're going to keep and call you back. People are busy, people are distracted, there are a million other agents going for the same lead, for the same business. Don't rely on that. Rely on your high status, your expertise, your ability to help them, you being unique. That's your business card. Deborah, so many CRMs to choose from. My company is changing the CRM system and they're offering and have a new one. But I don't want to be with the situation again and would rather have my own. Not sure which one to use. That's a really good question, Deborah. First of all, I don't recommend you guys should be using your company CRM. Because if they decide to change, if they go under, if some asshole who gets pissed off at the company figures out a way to get in, and trust me, if hackers can figure out to get into a fortress of a bank, your CRM, piece of cake to a lot of these people. So don't kid yourself. Your leads are not safe. If somebody leaves the company changes. There's all kinds of things that can go wrong. Your leads are your livelihood. Your leads is your business. You work your ass off. I would not let over a few dollars a month have somebody else control over them. I would insist to have my own system. Now, with that being said, first of all, let me tell you something about CRMs. There is not a perfect solution out there, ever. Never has been, never will be. You have a lot of choices. None of them is perfect. None of them is exactly what you want. But there are plenty of them who will do exactly what you need. Okay? There are plenty. There are 3 I would suggest. Normally, I suggest 2. I'll give you 3 to look into. Realty Juggler, very basic, very simple. It will get the job done. It will help you stay in touch with your leads. It will keep your name in front of them. It will remind you and prompt you. It will keep you on track, and you will get more appointments, more listings, more business as a result if you use it. It's going to take you about 2-3 days to learn the basics. How I input leads, how I set up a campaign, how I execute a campaign, how I update a lead. That means you talk to someone and they say, we'll be ready in a month. We're still repairing the roof. There are a couple other things. Let's get together in June. You need to know how to do that. 2-3 days, tops. Then you're going to hand it off to either your virtual assistant or your actual assistant. So that's the first one, Realty Juggler. They are about $100 a year. $100 a year. That's less than $10 a month. Very inexpensive. It's not fancy, it doesn't have all the bells and whistles, but they're getting better. They were built by real estate agents. The two guys who started the company, Scott is one of them, they were in real estate, so they know the industry well. It's not perfect, but it's good enough. It will definitely get the job done. That's the first choice. The second I would recommend is LionDisc. I really like LionDisc. Now, just like any other system, they have their growing pains. It's not perfect. They're working on it. They're good people running it who want to help you, but because of their success, some of it because I promoted it heavily and I really believe it and I really like them, they've grown so fast and so many agents jumped on that they're experiencing some growing pains. It's not perfect again, but out of all the choices out there, you combine what it's going to cost you, which LionDisc is about, we have a deal with them, and I don't want to quote you a wrong number, so I don't really know but how much it is. But we have a special deal with them. It's like $220, $230 a year. You get like a nice big package. And if you really want, I can post it. I can post a link to it if you want to sign up for it. The third option is everything else out there. There are a whole bunch of others. iExact Contact, there is Top Producer, there is Follow Up Boss. They have all pros and cons. Some are really expensive. They do all kinds of crazy cool shit, but you're going to pay through the nose. Some are very basic and they don't do everything, but they're inexpensive. At the end, don't overthink it. Get one, learn it, use it. That's the best CRM you can get. The one you're going to get, you're going to spend a couple of days learning it, and you're going to be using it. It's the best one. Deborah, that's your answer. Was that helpful? Deborah says, be yourself. You're awesome. Fuck you all. I get these emails from people, you know, and it's funny. And the question I never really ask it. I don't want to engage in debate. It's not about debating. You know, I'm not going to change. This is who I am. You guys like who I am, so whatever. If my information doesn't resonate with my language, it's not important. If my information is not helpful, I can have the choir boy language. It's not going to change anything. But here's the question I had. I have two people. One says, you need to say fuck a lot. The other one says, you should not say fuck at all. Why should I choose a request from this guy and not this guy? How is this guy better than this guy? Why should I listen to that? You know what I'm saying? Like, who gave the right to this guy to tell me how to speak and not this guy? Think about it. Just something to ponder. Samantha says, keep being you. Oh, I promise you, I will. Victoria has a really good question. I have a bunch of expats that I have not been able to reach and have them on a direct mail. How would I change the initial conversation when I do finally reach them? I allocate a calling session to these. That's a really good idea. So you have an expired, you went there a couple times, knocked on the door, nobody home, you left the package, and now you're following up. I would suggest once in a while, go back and see if you can revisit them. On the weekend, I would line up, I would play the connect the dots. So here's what I would do on an average Saturday if I didn't have appointments. So what I would do, I would take like 5 or 6 or 7 of those expireds, make a new set of packages, not the personalized ones this time, only the brochure, the very basic one, generic ones. And I would get, oh, expired number 1, expired number 2, expired number 3, expired number 4, expired number 5. Then I would pick a couple of new listings in the neighborhood. There's a new listing I wanted to see here, or let's say pending sale here. And then there is a past client I wanted to say hello here. So I would have these dots on a map. Now back then, I'm dating myself today. Remember Thomas Guide, the big book with the big binder? It would get shredded after about a year. I would have to replace it. Big colorful map book. That was before GPS and all that. So I would make a black and white printout, and then I would play connect the dots. Stop number 1, stop number 2, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Back to the office. And that's what I would do. Go back. Okay? The language does not change. I would ask them, I know your house was up for sale. I know you probably were bombarded by a whole bunch of agents mailing you stuff, calling you and all that. Have you relisted the house? Is it back on the market? Most likely no, because there's no sign. But you want to make sure that they haven't signed anything. And you go right into the dialogue. Well, it's a bummer. It kind of didn't. Nice house. Really surprised. Would you still be interested? If a buyer walks in tomorrow, they offer you a good price, they fall in love with the house like you guys did, first time you saw it, would you consider it? Would you like to live somewhere else? If you could have it any way you want to, where would you rather be? Would you rather stay here, same neighborhood, same house, same everything? Or would you be better off somewhere else? Where else? Why? What draws you to Florida? And you engage them in a conversation. Again, authentic, real communication rather than reciting scripts and asking questions like Inspector Columbo. Okay, good answer, next. You know what I mean? And just go through the question. 5, 10-minute tops. Then preview the property if you can, if it's appropriate, and if they allow it, which is fine if they don't. Sometimes the house is a mess. They can have various reasons. You know, they may be negligee in the bedroom after a wild night. You don't know. Empty bottle of champagne, whatever. You know, that's just an average Tuesday in the Borino household. I hope Hannah is not watching. Anyway, but you get me? So if they allow you to come in, fantastic, continue the conversation. If not, just say fantastic. You say you might be ready in a month. Let's do this. Let's set up something right now. We can get together for a few minutes. Meanwhile, I'll send you some cool, helpful information. Who knows? Maybe this is a good time for you to get down to Florida. Maybe not, but at least you know where you stand. You have all the answers. You will know what is the most a qualified buyer would be willing to pay, how much it's going to take to sell, how long, are there any good repairs that would enhance the property, put possibly more cash in your pocket, and then you decide. Maybe you are better off staying here. I'm not here to pressure you, obviously. I'm not here to make decisions for you. My job is just to give you enough answers so you guys know where you stand. You feel comfortable with the decision. What that decision will be up to you. Done. Nice and easy. And I'm not attached. If they say no, get lost, or if they say, oh, come on in, you're the best thing ever, or anything in between, would you like some champagne? You know what I mean? That happened. That actually happened. Wine. It was wine. Okay? So I hope that was helpful. Jeffrey has a really good comment. I'm finding anything that makes you more productive and saves time daily is where you spend first. Core efficiency, like an assistant or the fourth line dialer or one line dialer versus the phone. Exactly. Take your budget that you have and do the best you can with what you got. But look at all these tools and look at all these systems that will make you faster, more efficient, generate better leads, more leads, faster, so you can convert them into listings, help people get paid. That's really the bottom line. Now, you got to be careful because our industry, we are kind of plagued with the shiny new, right? Something new and shiny comes up and, oh, I want that, I need that. So be careful, evaluate, is this really producing the results? And if it takes 60 days and you're not getting shit, you know you got to pull the plug on it or fix it. Don't go for too long. That's why I would never sign up with any of these deals for a year. Unless you know absolutely, you've tested it and you know this is producing the results I want. Yeah? So very good point, Jeffrey. Deborah says, thank you. My pleasure. Good. Christina says, what was the last one? The last one what? I'm not really sure what you're asking. Okay. Great. All right, guys. So we took care of the Zillow crisis. Everybody calm down, stay focused, improve yourself. Because really, can you control what Zillow's going to do? No. Can you control what the consumers is going to do? No. You have no control of the public. You have no control. And here's the reality. Nobody has your back but you. Nobody cares. There's nobody out there who's got your back, other than me, of course, but I have vested interest. I want you to do well, and there's a reason for that. One, you spread the word. Two, you're an example to others, and I like when you do well. That makes me happy. And you buy more of my shit, you give me more of your money, you make more money, everybody wins. So, I am biased in this. But if you really think about it, your broker does not have your back. Because statistically, over 80% of real estate agents fail. They don't leave the real estate, and it was a great conversation we had here on Rockstars, right? Why agents fail? None of the answers are because they make too much money. Nobody leaves this industry because they got too rich and they didn't know what to do with the cash. Why do they leave? You understand? So your broker knows that only one of two things will happen. Either you do well and leave, or you fail. Most likely you will fail. 8 out of 10 do. And look at the turnaround. Look at the turnover. Look around. When you started in your office, are they the same people around you? Probably not. People come and go all the time. So your broker doesn't care. Nobody really cares. Zillow doesn't care. Your board of realtors doesn't care. People care about themselves, their profit, their well-being. They want to feel better. They want to do better. And if you can help them on the way, that's great, but it's still about them. Just like this wave of new stuff coming out is because the consumers demand it. The sellers demand it. So you got your back, you watch your back, you protect your best interest. And the way you do that is you take care of your clients. Because you understand, if I take care of my clients, if I have their best interest at heart, and if I serve well, And if I surf enough of them, I'm going to crush it. And you will. There's no doubt about it. That's how it works. That's how it's always worked. Yeah. Yolanda says, thanks for another great session. I always learn. We do this every week, every Tuesday. Freebies like this. I'm telling you, there are coaches out there who do coaching sessions like this one every week and charge you $500 a month membership. No joke. You're getting a pretty good deal. And good honest answers from a guy who actually was in the trenches like you for years. Got their phone slammed in my face, got a door slammed in my face, got a gun pointed at a couple times, all kinds of stuff. So I can relate. And then I climb up, pull myself by the bootstraps, and I want to show you that you can do the same. Or that if you're doing well, you can do better. Ray would like to know, is yesterday training somewhere to listen to? Any replay for? Yes. The yesterday replay, which was really good session, very different from what we normally do. Because Shayna is very analytical. I mean, she goes by the numbers. And she broke it down. Here's what we did. She was talking about the sales dialer. Here's what we did. Here's who we called. Here are the results. And here's how we did it. She completely opened her books where you could see exactly how it was done, how they prospect. She also showed you the process and a system, and they use Sales Dialer, by the way, that within 60 minutes, they can get one appointment, which is pretty cool. They're using 4 lines. They're machines, prospecting machines. The replay is posted. We just posted it yesterday on the Listing University. So check it out. It's there, if you're a member. If you're not a member, come join us. It's a great resource, great site where we post all kinds of training and interview. This Friday, I'm really excited. Mr. Brian Casella is going to join me. We're going to talk for about an hour about him doing business, generating leads, doing really well, looking cool, driving cool cars, being Mr. Sexy of California. So I'm really excited. It's exclusively only for Listing University members. It's not going to be live. It's going to be recorded, and it's going to be posted over the weekend. So if you are a member, check it out. If you're in the boot camp, you have 6 months of Listing University, so definitely check it out. It's going to be good. I'm really looking forward to chatting with you, Brian. That's going to be really good stuff. I love talking to people who walk the walk. Matt Case says, we really appreciate your love of this work and willingness to help us. I'm very passionate about it. I was having a chat with my son, Philip. Philip, you want to come say hi? No? He's sick today. He's hanging out in the house, and he just... Come say hello. Come on, just say hello. Fine. He hasn't been feeling really well, but he likes to check out his papa doing the show. Say hi to people.
Hi.
That's Philip. So we had a conversation today. Oh, look at all the love you're getting, bud. We were talking about why I do what I do. Philip likes to hang out when I do my broadcasts and I do my things, and I explained to him, I'm very passionate about what I do, just like you love this business. And I know it's hard when you're not making the money you'd like to make or you feel you deserve, and I do believe you do. That makes it harder, but if you can find the passion and joy in where you are today because of the potential where you can be tomorrow, figuratively speaking, that's a blessing. And that's what I'd like my kids to find, that kind of passion. Because if I'm able to touch your life and make it better and different quickly, then I win. Whether you're going to become a client and pay me or not is not important. Because I know, just like you don't click with every client, it's fine. I'm doing well. And your success is my ultimate currency. That's the number one. Yeah? All right, my friends. Mary and everybody is wishing you to feel well, my dear. You get a lot of comments from people wishing you good health. Stay strong. Post link of Listing University. Kathy, it's listinguniversity.com. listinguniversity.com. You can join. It's $47 a month. Less than I spend in Starbucks a week, I guess. So come join us. It's a good program. And if you get any of my systems, it comes free for 30 days. All right. Marcus says, thanks for great tips, Borino. My pleasure. Mary's wishing you well as well, Philly. Brian, wishing you well. Everybody else. All right, my friends. Let's wrap this up. Fantastic to talk to you. We're going to do this again next week. By the way, one last thing. Thank you for all the nice welcome. We have Kat now joined. Kathy joined our team. I'm really excited. We're easing her in, introducing her to our systems, to you guys, and thank you for the lovely welcome she received on Rockstar. She's very excited to work with us, and I'm really excited she's going to help us out. She's going to interact with you. She's going to handle a lot of the customer service, the emails, the chats, the phone calls, and all that. We're getting busy. The company is growing, so we needed somebody to help out, and I'm thrilled. She has the sweetest, nicest personality. She is so pleasant to work with. I'm really excited. So thank you for the hellos to Kat. I'll see you all next week. Rockstars who are in the bootcamp, I'll talk to you tomorrow. Next bootcamp coming August 23rd. I'm really excited about that. And with that, wishing you all a fantastic Tuesday afternoon. Coach Borino signing off. Let's go get him. I'll talk to you all real soon. Bye, everybody.